had an interview with the journo the other day, and she asked me the question around how, or what she's observing is that leaders in organizations are finding it really challenging or difficult to have challenging conversations. And she said, is that something you're observing? What's driving that? And I said, that was a conversation that was being had when I entered as a junior working within HR. And it's a conversation that is still being had today. I think the drivers behind why have changed. And I think that it has gotten more pronounced. But a lot of these things are the same things that we've been talking about for a very long time.
And we can just overlay what's happening now.
Yeah.
So leaders could say, well, it's difficult to have difficult conversations in the workplace because of the multi-generational workforce.
Yeah. And also like that, you think about all the different legislation that comes through. So recently the right to disconnect, or you've got certain organizations that are looking at 4-day work weeks. And, you've got, wellbeing has become a much more pronounced part of the conversation within organizations, and leaders have this really complex role whereby they're sort of getting top-down pressure from the organization around productivity and performance, but then bottom up, they're the ones who understand, that one of their team members is a single parent who's trying to juggle childcare, and someone else is caring for elderly parents and, who are suffering declining dementia. And so I kind of think about it as like the pinch point in the hourglass. And so it is really bloody hard. And I absolutely sympathize or empathize with people who are in that position, and that it's the complexity, it's the legislative sort of ambiguity, because with so much legislation coming, the everyday middle manager within an organization, they don't live and breathe that. They're not industrial relations professionals. And then there's declining trust between the manager and the system within the organization. And what I mean by that is there's this idea that's out there that if I'm worried that I'll say or do the wrong thing, and then what happens if I get a complaint made about me, or what happens if something comes about with Fair Work, and I'm not confident that my company is going to fully support me through that. And so there's so much that sort of underpins that, or that sort of surrounds that. So, but again, that talks to the world and the business environment that we're operating in, increasingly complex, increasingly volatile, increasingly uncertain.